they don't hop on, then we can watch it later. Okay. So it's February. Um, January has come and gone, and all of the people who've made all of their resolutions, most of them start falling off the wagon at this point in the year. Um, I don't know how your Januaries were, but for my whole team, my whole downline, January was kind of a slow month. We had 8 new people added total. And so, with those 8 people, part of what I want to talk about tonight is just some housekeeping, because I think that, um, especially if you're new, there are certain things that don't come second nature to you. Like, I've been doing this 3.5 years. Becky, Cindy, you guys have been doing this just right behind me. So after over 3 years, it's like certain things kind of, they just come natural. Like, I've been watching a lot of figure skating on Olympics. I don't know if you guys do this or not, but I'll watch things and I'll like take things that I watch, especially in like sports or whatever, and I can take principles and overlap them in, my life. I don't always apply it well, but in my head they overlap and I understand it. And so with all of the figure skating things, one of the things they talk about is it's such a mental sport. You have to be tough mentally. And I thought the other night when they were talking about one of the little gals that was skating, she was an American, and they just talked about how tough she is. And I thought, you know what, that's actually a strength that we need to be an ambassador, because there is a lot of mental strength that we've got to tap into in order to keep the course, stay the course, because we send out messages, we reach out, and people don't respond. They read the messages and they say nothing, and we hear crickets. And if you don't anticipate that that's going to happen, you can get in your head too much and it can really trip you up. So mentally you have to expect that. You've got to expect certain things. Other things are what I call muscle memory, and that's another figure skating. Becky, you know all about figure skating. I mean, you could probably teach a whole lesson on this. But, another thing that they've talked about in the Olympics, as I've been watching, is sometimes people, their bodies, the muscle memory kicks in. And so some of those muscle memory things for me are what I want to talk about tonight. Because I think sometimes if we're not careful, we can get sloppy with how we build our businesses. Because each one of you that's on this Zoom tonight, each one of you are interested in building a business. Each one of you have a heart to help people. You're not in this as a, dog eat dog kind of ambassador. There's certain facets to what we do that are very important. We want to develop an income stream for our families. There's nothing wrong with that. People don't work for free. Okay. So it's an honest way to bless our families with extra income. You guys all have a passion for people. We have a responsibility to the customers, the clients that we bring on, and all the people that join our team. So the whole muscle memory thing, for me, I realize I know these things, it's muscle memory, but it may not be for others. So I just want to do some housekeeping things and talk and give a little tough love and just basically talk about things that are expected for you to grow a business and for you to thrive and for you to actually build a solid team. There are certain things that have to be taken into consideration. We can't just go out there and share willy-nilly and, bring people on as clients and ambassadors and think, oh, well, they'll just find their way. That's irresponsible. And I'm not saying anybody's doing that, but I think sometimes that's what we default to if we're not intentional about how we train people and teach people. And it's called, with Plexus, it's called duplication. We want to duplicate. For example, it's my responsibility for my level 1 ambassadors. It's my responsibility to train and to teach. It's my responsibility to stay plugged in to what's happening so that I am there to help the people that I bring on. So my level ones, my hope and goal for you is that you feel that same responsibility for your level one people. So, and your level ones, we teach them to feel the same responsibility, and on and on and on. So that's where the duplication kicks in, because if we're not careful, you'll build a team and, somewhere down the levels, the wheels start coming off. And that's what we want to try to avoid. And so the first thing that I really want to talk about is talk about procedure for a new ambassador. Okay. So when you have someone who is interested in becoming an ambassador, my assumption is that you have talked to them, longer than just having a, one sentence dialogue with them. And they say, I want to become an ambassador. And you say, okay, here's my website. That's not the way we bring people on. We ask questions. We make sure that they understand that the expectation is that they will order consistently at least 100 PV. I was talking to Becky the other day, and Becky basically, she doesn't say 100 PV. She talks, 110, 115 PV, just to be safe. So that's really pretty smart. So set the expectation. Now, is it a requirement? Does Plexus make an ambassador at least purchase 100 PV? No. But here's the rub. If that does not happen, it's not good for your client, and it's not good for you as an ambassador. Not only is it not good for your client and not good for you as an ambassador, but it's not good for the people above in your upline, because the people that have poured in and trained you, like Rhonda, for example, Rhonda spent countless hours training me, pouring into me. She's trained our whole team. Like, think of the things that she's done, that she's provided for us. So if I bring people on in an irresponsible manner, it hurts her business too. Does that make sense? Are you all seeing how the roll up happens? So when you bring on an ambassador and you've talked to them and you've vetted them and they understand that the expectation is that they are going to order consistently a minimum of 100 PV, they need to order a welcome pack. No exceptions. And this is the reason why. A welcome pack is the cheapest way that they'll ever be able to get their products, ever, 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 ever. A welcome pack is cheaper than their wholesale pricing. I think in 3.5 years, I think maybe maybe only one person has ever joined my team without a welcome pack. And it's not because I'm anything special, but I just don't give people an option. There's never been an option. I don't ever tell people, well, you're going to go to my website and, you can choose a welcome pack, or you cannot. You can do that later. I've never done that with people, because what do you think the chances of them ordering a welcome pack later are? Not real good. Once in a while you might run across somebody who might, be on it and they will get their welcome pack before. I think it's 30 days now. It used to be 60 days. But welcome packs, no option. Okay. Also, another plus to that, when we're in convention contest mode or leaders retreat, you don't get points. You don't get convention points. You don't get leaders retreat points if someone doesn't order a welcome pack. Okay. So that's another thing. As an ambassador, a little treat for you when someone orders a welcome pack is you get an immediate bonus on their welcome pack. Okay. So welcome packs are not optional. They need a welcome pack. Another thing that does not need to be optional is setting up a subscription. So when somebody goes to your page and joins as an ambassador, they need to be walked through the process, because I don't know about you, but even now, after doing this 3.5 years, the joining process can be just a little confusing. Like, it's not totally confusing to us because we're used to seeing it. We're used to all the lingo. We watch the team pages. We have a completely different perspective than brand new ambassadors, people who have not been in this. So it's our responsibility to teach them. We're the expert. We have to lay out the information for them. I cannot tell you how many people that join my team that I get on the phone with them while they're on their laptop joining, just because, goodness, it saves me so many headaches down the road. So if someone throws a red flag and they say, I don't want a subscription, well, that right there is your clue that they probably don't need to be an ambassador. If they balk at a subscription, you need to rewind and look at the customer option for them. And I think it's totally okay to be real honest with them, you know, because if they don't set a subscription, I think the number is 80% of people who don't set a subscription when they buy the welcome pack and join never reorder. And if that's the case, your new ambassador, who had to be an ambassador to save money and get the cheapest price, has actually spent more money with their welcome pack and their joining fee than they would have spent if they had just purchased, I think, retail even. You know, if they balk at a subscription, what's the way that someone can order products and they don't have a subscription? Retail. Okay. Now, I will say this: retail is not my favorite way for people to buy products. It's the most expensive, and we do get paid commission on that, but we don't get preferred customer bonuses. Okay. If someone does not want the $100 minimum every month subscription, you know, if they will agree to be a preferred customer, they don't have to subscribe to 100 PV a month. You know, they can buy a bottle of ProBio 5, subscribe to it every month. From what I find, most people who don't like subscriptions, a lot of them will order retail first and foremost. I just went through this with someone who ordered, oh gosh, I think January was her first month, and sweet woman, she knows me, she trusts me. I did my very best, and I told her, I said, look, there are companies out there who have really done wrong to people, and I feel like we kind of pay the price for it. But our preferred customer program is super, super simple. You are in charge of whatever you purchase. You can change it, you can add to, you can take away, you can stop it. You're not locked into a certain time commitment. It's literally easy peasy. It's like ordering Amazon. Who doesn't order things off of Amazon? You know, still she would not do it. I reminded her this month, like a few days before, her products should have processed had she ordered preferred. Well, what happened? She was busy. She's a realtor. She didn't get her poop in a group. She didn't order. She like ran out of products. And so needless to say, she's now a preferred customer. But I guess the reason I'm saying that is because people have that, you have to tell them, you have to lead them, you've got to give them the information that they need. We have that information, they don't have it. Okay. It's not always going to work, but you have to do your due diligence. You know, I have to do my due diligence, or I'm not going to have a strong client base. I'm not going to have a strong team. And that's my goal. That's all of our goal. Okay. So welcome packs, subscriptions as new ambassadors are not optional. All right. It's not a perfect world. I know, and you know, like any of you girls that have done this for some time, you know, you can bring someone on and they say, oh yeah, I'm all on board, I'm good with it. And that doesn't guarantee that they are. Okay. This is my thing. If I've done my due diligence and I have spoken to them and I've been honest with them and I've taken the time needed to bring them along and they still drop off, I I can at least be better with that than thinking, oh my gosh, I lost this person and it's because I didn't do enough. I didn't tell them. I didn't give them the information they needed. Okay. So things are going to happen. Not everybody's going to stick. Not everybody is going to trust the process. And that's just life. But we want to do the best that we can to bring people on. So, okay. I feel like another thing that we have to really be careful about is we have to realize that it's our responsibility. It's my duty, it's my obligation to make sure that my clients don't purchase any more than they need and they don't purchase any less than what they need. Okay. In order to do this, in order to know what they need, that's going to take some dialogue and that takes some time. Okay. So that's another way that I feel like we've got to really be careful and really step our game up and spend the time with people so we know what medications are you taking? What are you actually looking to gain from taking products? What do you want to straighten out? What problems are you having? Um, Ask them, will you be able to drink the proper amount of water? I've actually lost a couple of sales. Actually, I don't know if I would say lost, but I've told at least two people that I know of that I can actually think of in my head right now that I don't think that our products are going to be the right ones for them because they flat out refuse to drink water. They hate water, will not drink water. And I know this is not going to work for them. They're going to hate the products. They're going to detox. They're going to feel crappy, and I don't want to mess with that. You know. And I've even told them, when you get to the place where you can drink the proper amount of water or some water, a little bit of water to stay alive, I'm happy to work with you. So due diligence, ask a lot of questions, get the ball rolling, get your people talking. Um, like I said before, failing to follow this, failing to do this, I think a lot of people, and I was guilty of this at first. I remember thinking, well, you know, if this happens, it's my business. It affects me, but it doesn't just affect you. It doesn't affect me. It affects people all the way up my line. Um, Fortunately, I believe I have respect for Rhonda, Ashley, Addie, the people above me that I know are they're working this, and part of doing this blesses them too. Does that make sense? Are y'all understanding where I'm coming from? So it's not just a selfish thing, you know. We want to make sure that we're doing what we need to do. We're conducting our business in such a way that it rolls up, but it also rolls down, okay? Because so goes the leader, so goes the team. If we make sure that we teach duplication, it's going to strengthen down our line too, okay? And frankly, that's our job. It's my job. In 3.5 years, I mean, everybody's busy. Now, I have the blessing, I have not worked a full-time job um, since I've been doing Plexus. So for those girls who work full-time jobs, oh my gosh, so much respect, so much respect. I'm not doing that, and I don't even know how I would do it. But in the time that I've been an ambassador, we've gone through a lot of turmoil, upheaval in our family. Things happen. We've walked through really difficult times. We've made two major moves. And, you know, I think sometimes in our lives it's easy to check out. It's easy to, I call it go dark. There were times in my life where, I'll go dark. Like I'm kind of off the radar for a few days or whatever. But I feel like people need me, you know. It's okay to go off the radar or take a much needed break. But again, the responsibility, if we have a team, if you have one person under you, you have a team. We have to stay connected. We have to show up, um, stay engaged with our people. Another thing that that I believe as ambassadors that we have a responsibility to do is to check our back office a minimum of, I would say, twice a week. you know um, I think that we've got one extreme or the other. Some people can be obsessive about your back office. I'm not one of these people. I like to stay on top of things because I'm nosy and I like to control things. So I'm in my back office so where I know what's going on. I know how many people have joined, and I can click on those people and I can see, did they buy a welcome pack? Do they have a subscription set up? You know, if Becky, somebody joins her team, because sometimes people join and we don't know it. Somebody joins her team and they didn't buy a welcome pack, or maybe they bought a welcome pack, didn't set a subscription up. Well, it's my job to reach out to her and say, hey, did you realize? And I'm not micromanaging, but sometimes people get busy and, Becky may not have known that, so that's a reason we have to stay engaged in our back office. So I believe a minimum of 2 times a week, it's our responsibility to get in your back office, find out what's going on. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about, and I'm paraphrasing it, I'm probably butchering it, but it talks about making sure that we're careful to check the state of your flocks, and I always think of that verse when I think of checking my back office, because my flocks are in my back office. It's like all of my sheep, or my like a shepherd, that's his job, is to take care of the sheep that are entrusted to his care. Well, I kind of feel like the people that are in my team, y'all are entrusted to my care. So that's part of my responsibility. That's part of my job. So if you have a team, please make sure that you hop into your back office and you at least know what's going on, so that you can tell your people, if they're not aware of something. And sometimes the quicker you catch something, the quicker we can save someone or salvage someone, and keep them. They have to be successful in products. I don't want people throwing their money away. It's my job to make sure that they're successful in products. So anybody have any questions or have anything to add before I go on? Jackie, I think you and Christina are the newest ones to the team. Any questions? Okay.
Good.
Okay, good. So how do we build our businesses? There's different ways that we build our businesses. PV, we get paid PV, okay? PV is important because we earn commissions on our PV. 15% commission from the 100 PV point to $499.99. Okay, that's a nice chunk of change. 500 and above, it jumps to 25%. Okay, so PV is a big way that we make our money. Okay, if somebody joins my team and they need to make fast money, or they want to pay for the cost of their products, I don't direct them to go out and get ambassadors. Okay, I direct them to get customers, because that's the quickest way that they're going to notice a change in their finances. All right, because if that's their goal, I want to give them the fastest way to meet that goal. So retail customers can help us hit PV goals for sure. But the real clincher is if preferred customers order from you, not only is it better for your client, your customer, because they get cheaper products and they don't run out because it's set up on auto ship. And so the likelihood of them staying successful on products goes way up. But we also, on top of our PV, on top of our commissions, we also get preferred customer bonuses, and each product carries a certain dollar amount. Like a bag of Slim, I think is $20. So every month that you have a customer that auto ships a bag of Slim, it's an automatic $20 bonus on top of all of your cumulative commissions earned on your PV. So that's why. Is it wise? Some people come from other network marketing companies where people order from them and they order from the company, collect money, and give them product, give their customers product. Well, that might work for some companies, but if you have someone who joins your team and that's how they're conducting their business, that they're missing out. They're leaving money on the table. Okay. Not only is it more difficult, number one, you gotta get money from a person. That's just a nightmare in and of itself. You have to deliver products to that person, another nightmare. Okay. And if you're buying products and delivering it to them, you're responsible for the money back guarantee. If they come back to you and say, Okay, I broke out in hives. Maybe they're allergic to stevia. I don't know. And they want their money back. Guess who owes them the money back? You do. The company will not stand behind the company's money back guarantee when you're the one buying products for your clients. So they're leaving money on the table. They're conducting business in such a way that's just not, it does not work well with how our business model is set up. And I believe that Plexus knew that. They set it up. It's so easy, y'all. It's so much easier for us, especially in this day of Amazon, ordering on Amazon, ordering online. People are used to that. Okay. So we build our businesses by PV, getting our PV up, retail preferred customers, preferred customer bonuses. We talked about new ambassadors to build a team. Okay. Your residual income is the ambassadors that you bring on. You get your business building bonuses from the welcome packs. Okay. The next month, if you're new ambassadors who buy a welcome pack and set a subscription, the next month when they commission qualify, when their products process, you get, for your level 1 ambassadors, you get 5 points dumped into your pay point bank. Okay. Each pay point carries a dollar amount depending on how well the company does. So let's say you have 20 level 1 ambassadors and they all commission qualify. You bring them on, they all commission qualify the next month. You've got, they're worth 5 points a piece. You've got 100 points right there. Okay. So that right there, that's your residual income. So roughly $3 a pay point, 100 pay points. Do the math. That's pretty good money, but that's longevity. That's building a team. So my hope, my goal for you is that for every customer that you roll into an ambassador, if that happens, that you got another person take its place, take their place as a customer. Not everybody is ambassador material. Okay. You're going to have some customers who stay customers for a very long time, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a customer who's ordered products for probably 2 years, and I keep telling her, I just want you to know your option, because she's ordered the triplex for 2 years without fail every single month. And I always tell her, every so often I tell her, do you want to upgrade and save some money? And she's happy where she is. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't want to be guilty of not giving her options. Okay. So other people who have purchased just a bag of Slim from me for several months, I don't even talk to them about the option to upgrade as an ambassador, because a bag of Slim is not going to satisfy that 100 PV requirement. Okay. So, all right. Let's see. Duplication. So we talked about duplication. Part of what I believe being available for your team is to make sure that you're diligent to teach and train your level 1 ambassadors. If you have a level 1 ambassador who is bringing people on and they're not buying welcome packs and they're not setting up subscriptions, and it tends to be a chronic thing, that's something that needs to be addressed and needs to be looked at. If Becky starts just not, teaching people, they just aren't buying welcome packs, she's bringing people on and they're falling off faster than she can bring them on because she's not training them, that's on me. Okay. Because it's my responsibility to have a conversation with her and find out what's wrong, what's happening, find out where she is not understanding the business. Okay. And I believe that, we can do that in such a way that, lets people feel safe. I would much rather know the right way to do something if I'm doing something wrong than for somebody to let me continue doing things in a way that I just keep spinning my wheels and I'm not growing and I'm not moving forward. That is so frustrating. Okay. So I think, in my opinion, it's always better to confront a situation and find out where the wheels are coming off. So teaching duplication is our number 1 responsibility. Another one of our responsibilities, if we have a team, we have to be responsible to be available for three-way calls, be available for Zoom meetings, messenger chats, however your team needs you to communicate with their clients. Okay. So Becky knows that anytime she brings someone on and they're open to do a three-way call with me, I'll put it in my schedule. I'm good with that. Three-way calls are so effective, you guys. If you are not utilizing three-way calls with your clients and your sponsor, you are missing out, because another person besides you can offer, that's another person that's sold on the products. Okay. So this person comes into contact, your client comes into contact with another person who has big belief in products. So that right there is a positive thing. It also puts them in connection with someone else and makes them feel like they're part of a bigger thing, a bigger team. Not everybody wants to be part of a team, but if they realize that they have someone to go to for questions, if they run into a problem and the sponsor is unavailable, they always have somebody else that they can reach out to. Okay, so there's a lot of good things that can come out of a three-way call. Also, like, I don't know every question to ask people. Rhonda thinks of things that I don't think about, because her brain is wired totally differently. So there's so many positives. Three-way calls, Zoom meetings, pull your people into messenger threads with your sponsor if they don't want to get on the phone, because those are a little less intimidating, I guess. Messenger chats are huge as well. Know the state of your team. Check your back office. We already talked about that. Another thing that we have an obligation to do is extend grace and patience. Okay. I am guilty at times. I can get frustrated with people, customers, ambassadors that are just taking products, because I'm a rule follower. If someone tells me you need to do this and this and this, I'm going to do it. I am a teacher by trade. I'm used to people following my directions because that's what teachers do. So I can get in a wad when people don't follow directions. And I've had to learn how to just take a deep breath, be patient, extend grace, because there's circumstances going on in people's lives that I may not know about. Okay. So extend grace and patience to your team members, to people on your team that are just wholesale ambassadors. Treat them like you would treat customers. We're not managing employees. We're teaching leadership skills that translate to building healthier teams. Okay. So those are just a few things. That's like just skimming the surface of all of this. But I think it's a good reminder, as far as some of the things that we need to remember to do, anytime you bring somebody on. So that's about all I have. Becky and Cindy, do you have anything to add? Something I missed? Anything you want to add to? Because y'all have brains that work differently than mine too.
No, I think you covered everything. I think it's always good to go over, these kind of things, especially having Jackie and Christina on the calls, and they're a little bit newer. Not brand new, but it takes time it took me time anyway to like learn it. And so repetitive hearing it over and over helps you get a grasp of it. So I thought that was great reminders for everybody.
Yeah. A refresher course.
Yes.
I think the other thing for me is, I was sharing with Allison the other day that I haven't added a business builder, so to speak, in a long time. So I think unless we have this huge momentum where we're building and, we have that opportunity to repetitively duplicate what we know in our head works, then like I'm already thinking in my head, okay, when I get that next business builder, what am I going to do? Because I haven't had one in so long. So just because I'm here and I've been here for 3.5 years, I mean, I'm not building people, signing people up left and right. So it's, we go in slumps, and a lot of us add personal use ambassadors. And obviously, I still like to do three-way calls with even those people, because I feel like Allison said, the third-party validation for products is huge. She's got a different testimony than I have, and it's just nice to have. And if that doesn't work out, which the phone call is hard, definitely the three-way messenger chat. So that's really helpful. But and what I did 3 years ago isn't what I do now. So that's the other thing that's so awesome about this, is we hear videos and we train ourselves and we change. I mean, we've changed terminology for what this is the third name for backup order, convenience order, subscription. So we've gone through the terminology changes, so we have to be changing with time. So anyways, I always think it's a good reminder, and for us to just constantly be thinking about it.
Yeah. And, another thing is, I think there are, last time I checked, 450 some odd people total in my downline. Now, not everybody orders, but your back office keeps track of how many people are back there, whether they're active or not. Out of all of those people, I only have about 15 people who are working the business. All of my other points come from, people who basically are wholesale customers. So, if somebody does not express an interest in working the business, but they're solid and they've been committed to the triplex and X Factor, or even just the triplex, and they just want to save money, there's nothing wrong with upgrading them and letting them order products every single month. Because here's the thing, we don't know, but what maybe a person who is ordered consistently as an ambassador, a silent ambassador, we don't know, but they might decide to work the business down the road. We've all heard stories of Sarah Marble ordered products as an ambassador for 9 months. 9 months, the whole gestation period of a pregnancy. That's a long time. And then all of a sudden decided, I'm going to do this. And she's a diamond. She's an amazing person. So that can happen, So one of the things I've had to learn to not make decisions for people. I have to give them the freedom and the respect to make their own decision, because it's easy for me, again, it's the whole teacher thing. I can decide what I think is best for people, and I'm wrong a lot of times. So, just let things happen, be diligent with what you know to be diligent with, that let things happen. And there's a possibility that someone that's in your team could basically decide tomorrow, I'm going to go for this. So,
Hey, Allison, I think it might be good just so it's there. If somebody is not sure they can carry the $100 a month PV, and your suggestion is that they go, that they either sign up as a preferred. Why don't you give your idea of your verbiage of what you say? I think that's helpful.
before they join, I would just probably tell them
the vetting process,
Yeah. I would probably lay it out in such a way that explains that there's less of a commitment on their part to just order as a customer. Now, I know in my head that they can sign up as an ambassador and there's no requirement, but I don't think that's wise business building for me, and it's really not the best for them, because it's going to take them longer to recoup their $34.95, and there's no guarantee that they're going to continue purchasing products. So there is less of a commitment, I think, because you're not out $35 to buy wholesale, and I just would steer them that direction. Let them know that it's you can order whatever you want when you want, stop it, start it again. As a customer, and you're not out a joining fee. So set it up in such a way that they save $35 basically. So that's probably what I would do. Anybody have a different approach to that?
My computer, my Wi-Fi froze up, so I didn't completely hear what you say. But with those kind of people, I usually just say, "Oh, well, that's not a problem at all. I understand the $100 commitment, may be a bit much. So let's just go ahead and have you order as a customer, and we'll see how you do." And I usually I start everyone on triplex, and whether they choose to do that or not is their choice, of course. But at that same time, I talk to them about X Factor too. And I say, I don't want you to think you have to start all 4 of these at one time, but at some point I would like for you to consider adding X Factor. So would be something when we are ready to upgrade you to and I always use that when we are ready to, or when you are ready to, and not if you decide, because that places that in their head that they're going to be ready. So I say, when you're ready to upgrade to be an ambassador, that will be an awesome way, because you'll then earn a little bit back on your own purchases. And I don't ever get upset if somebody would rather be a customer, because I am a business builder and I am legitimately paying bills. This is a lot of us work still and legitimately use this money to pay bills, but this is my only job right now, and I need to make a certain amount of money. So I'll take commissions and a $20 preferred customer bonus.
Heck yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But so like today I added a new preferred customer. I'm looking at now, who am I going to move into the ambassador spot? Yeah. So it's always, and my PV has drastically dropped, which I'm okay with because of just the season of my life. But that's my mentality. Like Allison said, I'm constantly, if I add one here, I got to add one there, and, back and forth. So I've got that customer. Now I need to look at who can upgrade to an ambassador. So
yeah, that's good. Another thing that I heard, I think Rhonda said this a long time ago, that I've always thought, when somebody does upgrade to an ambassador, they can buy any product at wholesale. Sometimes people will try more products if they're buying them at the lowest possible price, if they know they're getting that bigger discount. And I always tell people too, when they're purchasing as an ambassador, you're purchasing from yourself. You're not purchasing from me. As a customer, you're purchasing from me. You're my customer, you're my client. But when you are an ambassador, you're purchasing these products from yourself. So you're making the commission on what you're purchasing. And I think that's a good distinction to make with ambassadors, because even though there is some good things in there for us as an ambassador, we get those pay points. For the most part, it's very, very it's very good for the ambassador to know that, because it's a good deal for them. You're making money back on your products as an ambassador. So anyway, what else? No questions? Belinda Counts, you don't have any questions at all?
She's hiding from us.
No, I see. Show us your face. There you are.
Oh.
Give us a nugget of wisdom, Belinda.
I don't know if I have too much today.
I will say what Belinda does is she talks to her people, and Belinda is very customer service savvy, and she sets up a lot of people's accounts for them. So she has a very great success rate with welcome packs and subscriptions.
And the reason I try to do that is because I know it'll get done.
Right. That's true.
So,
yeah.
It's true.
Yep. And she tells them what she's doing. It's not like it's, she's sneaking one up under their nose or
Oh,
something.
no,
So,
they know what I'm doing.
yep.
Well, there's a lot of people that would rather you do it for them.
Mhm.
Rhonda,
They would.
literally, Ashley Stewart had to call her, get her credit card number, and sign her up herself because Rhonda literally did not have the time to sign herself up. So if Ashley had not done that, goodness gracious, what would she have missed out on? You know what I'm saying? So you could be signing up a Rhonda Shaw. You never know.
Yep.
Christina, give us a tip. Give us a good tip that you found that works with you, like with your clients. And I know you got some.
I check on them. I try to check on them at least once a month,
Do something.
just to chat.
Yeah.
And talk about business.
Yeah, that's good. Because we're in the business of relationship marketing. So we lose relationship with our clients and our team.
Yeah.
It's not always the best. I heard
Sometimes they have questions and that's fine, but we made a rule that this at the beginning of that conversation, this is friends first. And if you have a question, that's fine, but I'm not here to ask you about product.
Yeah. Good. That's good. See, I knew you had one. Somebody the other day called themselves a wellness marketer, and I really liked that. Because that's what we do. We're wellness marketers. We specialize in wellness for people. That's what our products do. So anybody else? Cindy?
Okay, so here's something interesting.
Okay.
So I've been trying to get my husband to get on board. And he's like, trying to feed your baby with a spoon.
Yeah.
So he tells me last Sunday, we're talking on the phone, and he says, hey, this doctor popped up on my news feed. And I said, well, who is it? And I don't know, some doctor, Gatsby or some Grunsby or something. And he said, but he's talking about probiotics. And I said, did you listen? And he said, no. So he puts it on. So I have to listen while I'm on the phone with him. While he's playing it where he's at. And at the end, as the guy's talking, I'm like, yeah, because, and I start filling in the blanks ahead of time. And he says, really? I said, yeah. I said, but he didn't tell you this, this, and that. Wait a minute, let me listen. So he finishes the spiel about what he's talking about. And at the end, I said, did he say thrive? And he said, yeah. I said, TH, and I spell it out. He's like, yeah. I said, that's our competitor and not a good one. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, you know why? Because, and I go all out. And he's like, oh. I said, yeah, and this is why Plexus is better. And so I vomit over him all about that. And that's why I want you to take this, and that's why I send it to you where you are, because this is important to me. And he says, I just thought this was a thing that you were, like a phase. And I wasn't going to say anything, but you kind of know something. I said, yes. He's like, oh, okay, well, okay, I didn't know. And then he says, oh, and by the way, I'm out of Mega X.
That's funny.
So yeah, so he had to listen to the competitor.
Yeah.
To hear me to hear me say what I know is true, and talk to him about die-off and foot fungus and bad breath and all those things that we don't associate. And he's like, I didn't know. I said, yeah, see, he didn't tell you all that because that's not what their business is about. And so it opened his eyes, and he had a new perspective. I thought that was kind of weird that he had to go to Thrive.
Oh, yeah. But it got his attention. And
yeah.
Who are the hardest people to
Family.
share with and to
Family.
Oh my gosh. Hardest.
Oh, family, because I don't want to hear it.
Well, we're too familiar. You
Yeah.
know, we don't know anything, you know. So I think there's an element of that, you know. So my kids are the worst. I have one child who's fairly compliant, you know. The other ones just kind of look at me, and now they'll take products, you know, but they kind of roll their eyes. But it took my mom 4 months before she would eat, and she's a type 2 diabetic.
Go Phyllis. Go Phyllis.
We can't hear you, Mom. You're muted.
Okay, Al, you don't have to tell all that. It took me a long time because I thought, oh yeah, but
I know.
anyway.
But we all deal with it. Everybody. So Ron's not unusual. It's just the way it is. So, but oh well.
Yeah, he's getting on board, and I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah, I told when he comes, well, I don't know when he's going to be home, but when he does come home, I said, okay, so when you come home, I want you to taste the pink drink that I've been toting around. And he said, does it taste bad? I said, no, it tastes really good, and you might like it. They're like, okay, well, I'll taste it when I come home. So at least he's like, you know, he's opening up.
Yay. We will
Yay.
We'll continue to open up.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any questions? Anything to add before we hop off? No?
I do have one question.
Yep.
I wanted to know what's y'all's opinion on Lexi?
Lexi, Lexus. Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, because the only reason I ask is because I stumbled on like a video where they were talking about it. They were in the main office, and they were talking about how to use it and the benefits, and you should try it. And I'm like, I don't know anybody who uses this. But then I never asked, does anybody use it?
You know, when it first came out, I used it and kind of messed around with it just to try to get my feet wet with it. But they hadn't added all the modules that they've added since. And this is probably just to my detriment. I've just fallen off the Lexi wagon just because it took so much concentrated time and effort that I didn't have the mental bandwidth to deal with it. So I don't know.
See,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is anybody use it now?
I haven't used it in a while.
Yeah.
I was using it pretty consistently when I first got it, but I haven't been. I keep thinking, should I go ahead and try it again?
Yeah. Well, I know they've added some more things to it, and I think they've probably squared away some things, but I don't know. I haven't jumped back into it. I think you can do a trial. Do they still have a 30-day trial? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't get that far. I just said, wow, I don't understand why no one's talking about this, because it sounds really good and it sounds really helpful.
I think the goal was for it to be awesome and to take so much off of our plates, and I don't know that it actually did that. I feel like for me it added more. So.
Okay, well, maybe I'll be the guinea pig of the group, because I don't know if it's good or not. And the video that I watched was fairly recent, so I'll be the guinea pig. I have no idea. I have nothing to lose, except for a little bit of money.
Yeah.
I would definitely tell whoever you're adding, like if let's say that you're adding a client to get the modules, let them know or ask them, say, hey, I'm trying this new app. Would you be willing to give me some feedback? I used it for about 6 weeks after convention with new people, and the feedback I got was it was too much. Lexi was texting them at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and but that was brand new. I mean, and that was, July. So it's probably, and I have I'm kind of an old school, old dog, new tricks. Like that's me. And I have this set information that I send everybody, and Lexi was too much. So I bet that they've improved it though. I just haven't, I've got so many other irons in the fire, that I haven't looked at it again. So if you could be our spokesperson for the team and tell us if it's improved.
Yes. All right, guys. It's 9 o'clock.
All right.
We're going to sign off. I'm going to throw this video up in our team page. So for your team members that didn't get to watch, just tag them. So.
All right. Thank you, Allison.
All right. Good
Bye,
night.
sis.
Bye.
See you guys.